Okay, so I have actually drawn the line work from the registered plan, which is right here. And if I want to check anything, I can obviously select the line and it will tell me the properties of it, length and angle. Or I can go into general, add label, line and curve, and hit add, and it will label everything for me just to check to make sure that it actually matches what's on the registered plan. Okay, so I'll leave that up to you. If you want to check my work, you can do that. Now, for now, I'm just going to just a quick note about how to add labels. So labels are obviously uh, annotative. So if I change the scale, they get bigger. Right now, I just did single segments. I can also do line between 2 points. So if I want to do from this corner to this corner, I can do that. Okay, right now all my labels are to 2 decimal places. If I want to change that, make it 3 decimal places, I could either create one. Let's actually just do that. So let's say this is right now called standard label style. I also have one for distance only. So if I change these right now from standard to bearing distance, it gives me the bearing and distance. Okay, if I change it to distance only, it gives me just the distance. So this label style is used for labeling inside of the buildings, building lengths on the RPR. I also have grade, which is for final grades that will give me the slope of that line. Right now, obviously, this line has a start value for z of 0 and end value of 0. So it's a flat line. It's a two-dimensional line, so it doesn't have a slope. But if right now, if I change the z value to, let's say, I don't know, 1, you can see it has a slope of 2.8 meters, which is the difference between the vertical distance over the length in percentage. Okay, so let's just make sure all my lines are flat. Okay, so yeah, basically back to the uh, so those are all the ones. We have a bearing distance, we have a distance only, grade, and standard. Okay, so back to standard. Now standard, as you can see, it gives me 2 decimal places. If I wanted to create one that will give me 3 decimal places, what I have to do is copy current selection. Okay, so this box opens. So let's just say call it 3 decimals. Okay, go into general. I don't want to change any of this stuff. I go into layout. So I have distance here. Click that and this window opens. So select this right now. This is what the text component is. Precision is 0.01. So I'm just going to delete this, grab this, change it to 3, and make sure you hit that button and hit OK. Now it's going to show up in 3 decimal places. Hit apply, OK, and that's it. So right now, if I select this and under the properties, change it from standard to 3 decimal, you can see that now it's showing me 3 decimal places. Okay, it's easy as that. Now, for this exercise, I'm gonna select one thing I use one command I use a lot is select similar. So I select something and then I say select similar. So it's selected all of my labels, including some that are in the template. I don't want to do those. And I'm just going to delete these. So it didn't delete this one because this is a different type of label. So let's just delete that. So right now I'm just left with some lines and curves. Okay, so we have 14 lines and 2 arcs. I want to make a copy of this and put it over my survey point. So I go select everything, go Control Shift C, okay, and just pick um, pick the base point. So I'm going to pick this one as a base point because that's where we found an iron post. Okay, and then I go Control Shift V. Okay, so it just makes a copy of that, but copies it as a block. So right now, instead of dealing with all these items, 16 items, I just have one item to deal with. Okay, so I can move it around. So I can move this from that point to this iron post. Okay, because that's what he found. All right, and I see that there's a rotation problem. Why is there a rotation problem? Because this is from the survey in the field. So in the field, the surveyor set up at point number 1. So right now I just want to, he set up at point number 1 and backside at point number 2. So let's just draw a line from point number 1 to point number 2. See where that is. So I'm going to type in L for line, point number 1 to 2. Okay, so this is his point number 1. This is his point number 2, which is a drill hole. Okay, point number 2 and point number 3 are the same thing. It's just 3 is just to check to 2. So distance between 3 and 2 is 2 millimeters. Okay, and what's the azimuth of this line is 180. So that's what the surveyor assumed in the field when he did his survey. Okay, he had nothing with known coordinates. He just placed a mark, a drill hole in the sidewalk himself, put another mark far away, okay, the farthest point in his survey as a backside, and assumed an angle of 180 to it. Okay, so that the angle of his survey is not the same as real world, which is the legal plan, because the legal plan, the angle, the azimuths are actually real world. So what I need to do is rotate his survey to this plan. So I've moved the block that is from the register plan onto his point 1. Okay, I'm going to select one of the points, go select similar. So I've got 139 COGO points selected. I'm going to type in RO for rotate. Okay, so and this is, it's asking me for specify base point. So this will be my base point, and it's asking me for rotation. So I'm just going to click on reference or type in R. Specify reference angle. So let's say reference angle is the angle from this point to this point, which is another found eye. Okay, and the new angle, I'm just going to put it on this one. It didn't work. Why? Because my points are locked. Obviously, if I list the points, everything is locked here. Sorry, my computer is a little bit slow. That's why. So before I do that, I need to select all, go and unlock. Okay, so now all the points in the drawing are unlocked so they can be manipulated. So let's do that again. Select one point, right click, select similar. Okay, RO for rotate. Base point is here. Type in R for reference. Reference angle is from here to here. And then the new angle is right there. So it just rotated all of the points. Okay, and this way I can see how does the evidence fit the plan. Okay, so if I just draw a line from here to here, you see that this line goes through that node. Okay, now what's the distance here? 29 millimeters, so 3 cents, just over an inch. Okay, he found some other pins. He found another pin or iron post right here. There's two shots. TOI means top of eye, and then this one is the eye hole. So that pin was bent. I have a picture of it probably somewhere here. So that's the picture of the pin. Top of eye means he put his pogo, his pole, his rod, survey rod on top of this. Bottom of it would be over here. Now, if he should have done a better job. He should have actually dug with a shovel around this to find the straight part of the iron post. and that would have been a better indication of the base of the pin. Okay,